So Newcastle back on the road again, going down to Arsenal. 8 PM kickoff tonight. Controversial one, given that there's no trains back tonight to Newcastle from London after that game is finished. And really, the game itself it's going to be arguably Newcastle's toughest game of the season, in my opinion, away from home. We know what Arsenal can do to teams. We've seen it in recent times, putting 6 past West Ham and 5 past Burnley, and I'm sure they'll be relishing this one, given they lost in the Champions League to Porto to a late goal in midweek, when they were trying to probably keep it tight and get the job finished in the second leg. But you know, now they've got a 1-0 deficit to overturn, but they will forget about that for the visit to Newcastle. It's all about them staying in the title race from their point of view. From Newcastle's point of view, it's about remaining in the European hunt, and Newcastle are still in a European contention, if you like. They're no longer in that Europa League conference slot, and that's a blow for Newcastle, really, if you look at it. Because only last Saturday they had the opportunity to hold on to that Europa Conference League place. They didn't quite manage to do it because they could only draw with Bournemouth, and it was as I said at the time, it felt like a point gained, because scraping that point in stoppage time was enough to at least keep the unbeaten run going. It felt like a point gained in those circumstances. The bigger picture, it was 2 points dropped, especially when you look at this game tonight. But look, Newcastle have done things the hard way lately, you know, drawing 4-4 with Luton, then going to Aston Villa and winning and picking up 4 points from, you know, the 6 available. If they can keep picking up 4 points from 6, if they can keep picking up 4 points from every 2 games between now and the end of the season, then they'd have a real shout at European football next term. But this one's tough. I asked Eddie Howe before the game, would he take a point from this one, given the form that Arsenal are in. They got a point down here last season, if you remember, and it was deemed a disappointment. It was deemed Newcastle should have probably won the game, given the breakaway opportunities he had. But Eddie Howe said he would never go into a game accepting a point. He's always looking for the 3, and he'll know that this fixture has not been kind to Newcastle since 2010, when Andy Carroll scored the winner all that time ago. And really, Newcastle will be the underdogs tonight as well. We'll have to be honest about it. So for me, a point would be a great result. A little bit of talk about Newcastle changing formation. Will they switch to 5 at the back? It's something Eddie Howe hasn't done all season. I asked him about it during that horrible run or the festive period, and he said it's not as easy as that. He said if it was that easy, everyone would be doing it. But look, could Dan Burn move into the centre of defence and bring Livramento in? We'll have to wait and see. It's certainly something that's been talked about before the game. It's been suggested as well by others. But for Eddie Howe, it will be going against the principles that he's set. He's been stubborn, sticking with a 4-3-3 formation. So it'll be interesting to see how he approaches this, if there is a change of strategy, and if deep down a point would be a good result in his mind. We'll have to wait and see. But Newcastle, really, it's a critical time in the season, staying in contention for Europe, and obviously the FA Cup game against Blackburn, which we'll come to next week. For now, we're heading down to Arsenal, hoping Newcastle can get something, but the reality could be different. We'll have to wait and see. Depends what Arsenal team turn up, and Newcastle must make the most of the opportunities they do create, and they've got to improve defensively if they get anything from this game.